What's really going on in the housing market right now?
New home sales took a steep drop in November, falling over 12% from October.
Now, we know interest rates did come down a little bit, but now they're going back up.
Realtors say the housing market started to pick back up last month after a slowdown through the holidays. New listings jumped 72% in January. The median price also went up about $4,000.
In this video, we're going to talk about the real truth of what's happening in the real estate market right now. All right, so as we know so far, interest rates started off going down at the beginning of January, okay? And then not only that, but towards the end of January and beginning of February, the interest rate started to increase. So now we're really looking for those rate cuts that were supposed to happen in March, but now it's looking like we're going to have to wait until May. Watch this.
The economy has made good progress toward our dual mandate objectives. Inflation has eased from its highs without a significant increase in unemployment. That's very good news. But inflation is still too high, ongoing progress in bringing it down is not assured, and the path forward is uncertain.
Now, rate cuts is going to affect every industry that has to do with interest rates, of course, including the mortgage industry. Now, the type of market that we're still in is still a buyer's market, okay? Now, for those of you who don't know what a buyer's market is, a buyer's market essentially means that there are less buyers than actual inventory available, okay? So, for example, for every one buyer, there's probably 3 to 4 homes available, okay? If not more than that, but that's to give you guys an example of what that looks like, which means if a buyer sees a house and they don't like it, they don't make an offer, that seller is now in a position where they now have to wait and see when the next buyer is going to come. In this type of market, sellers are usually on their heels trying to figure out how can they get more traffic. But here's the problem, they have to wait. Now, a lot of people that were buyers, they essentially would have bought last year, but the interest rates were not that favorable as we just saw in 2020 and 2021. So many of them have already been waiting to go into the housing market in 2024. Now, some people don't even care about what the interest rates are because, again, they waited last year, they put their life on hold, and since that time, many things have changed. Some people need bigger space. Some people feel that since their rents have increased as well, it only makes sense to start going into homeownership, especially if it's costing the exact same amount of money. And also in some states, the price of homes have increased so much so that people are moving from those states as well. I just talked to a friend of mine who was living in New York and says, listen, for what I was paying in monthly rent in New York, I could own a home if I just moved, to a different state. And that's exactly what he did. He's not the only one that did that. A lot of people are considering that move as well. We make a certain amount of money. We already have inflation, from groceries and all the rest of the stuff that's going on. So we say, okay, I have to live somewhere. Does it make sense where I'm living at? And that's what a lot of people are starting to ask themselves. It's not necessarily rent versus home ownership. It's more so saying, hey, I don't mind paying rent, but what am I getting for that? If I'm paying $3,000 a month, $3,500 a month, $2,500 a month, and I'm living where I'm at, does it make sense? Or should I consider moving? You may not necessarily have to move to a different state. You may have to move a little bit further from things as well, but it's now on the table and people have to consider this because in a lot of areas, prices have increased. Now, you also have some areas in which the prices of homes have decreased. Then you also have the fact that global warming has played a major role on some of the coastal states like California and Florida. So overall, in the real estate market, you have some areas in which people are moving from. You have some areas in which prices are going up. You have some areas in which prices are going down. But one thing for sure, there are still less buyers than there is inventory. And in this past month, some states have seen as high as 72% of new inventory listings that's available for buyers, but it's still not enough buyers yet. What's going to bring more buyers is real simple, lower interest rates. So hopefully, a lot of these sellers can wait a little bit. Hopefully they get under contract. But if they don't, we may have some other issues that'll be brewing as well. And then, of course, for the sake of time, we're not going to go too deep into commercial real estate. But the short version is, if you're looking to buy commercial real estate, this is the best time to do it. And it's probably only going to get better. A lot of these companies that own commercial real estate, they simply do not have enough tenants that are business owners inside the building. So a lot of them are starting to convert more portions of their commercial real estate into residential, okay? So, but there are some that are not able to do that because of zoning or whatever. So if you're really considering going into commercial real estate, you're going to be able to get things at a very sweet deal in the next 1 to 2 years. If you like this video, you're most definitely going to love the next one. I'll see you there.